After a temporary halt because of the coronavirus outbreak, the NBA season resumed back in July 2020, where we saw a lot of incredible plays. The 2020/2021 playoffs are set to wrap up on July 22nd, 2021. What's up, guys? What are you busy with lately? Welcome back to our channel, where once again the topic of today's video is centered around basketball. In particular, we're talking about what Charles Barkley says about two certain NBA teams, and while we're at it, we'll also be reporting about this LA start who failed. So if you're curious to know what this former basketball player has to say, as well as other news about the sport, then watch until the end. One more thing, before we get to that, kindly give a thumbs up on today's video, and while you're at it, subscribe to our channel with the notification bell on so you won't miss out on our newest uploads. Bubble gangsters don't count. In the 2019/2020 NBA Finals, we saw the Los Angeles Lakers and the Miami Heat compete for the championship title in the league's bubble playoffs. We saw LeBron James and Anthony Davis lead their team to victory as the LA Lakers won the 17th franchise title, but they're already looking forward to the 2020-2021 season. Despite everything that happened, both teams played against each other at last year's NBA Finals bubble had it rough, with the 2021 postseason proving itself to be a challenge for them. The injury-ridden Lakers fell to the Phoenix Suns in 6 games, and the Heat were run off the court against the recharging Milwaukee Bucks in a series sweep. With this kind of performance displayed, former basketball player and NBA Hall of Famer Charles Barkley had something to say. In an appearance on the Dan Le Batard show with Stugotz, Barkley, who is also a TNT analyst, had some comments about the two teams where he called the Lakers and the Heat bubble gangsters. Barkley even went as far as to say that last year's championship deserves an asterisk. In the Urban Dictionary, the term bubble gangsters is described as a male who puts on a facade as he is a lot more connected on the streets, drugs, gambling, prostitutes, hits, etc. than he really is. Barkley quipped, "Listen, that bubble basketball, it was a bunch of bubble gangsters. That don't count. Bubble gangsters don't count." Honestly speaking, the TNT analyst has a point, considering the conditions the teams played in were entirely different from what it's used to. But on the other hand, it's also the reason that the Lakers and the Heat are commendable for their run to the finals. The Lakers, as we said earlier, suffered injuries from some of their players, and it went on throughout the regular season and landed them at the Western Conference play-in game. The team managed to advance so far until a groin injury to Anthony Davis limited the potential for the defending champs. Oppositely, Miami seemed to show a mental rigidity in last year's bubble. However, this season, Goran Dragic and Tyler Hero struggled to recite their production from previous postseason, leaving the Heat without enough depth to challenge the Bucks. I don't think he's a Laker. The LA Lakers took an early exit this season after suffering defeat from the Phoenix Suns in Game 6 with a score tally of 113-110. Former Lakers star and legend Irvin "Magic" Johnson had something to say about his previous team, and even offered some advice regarding the status of impending free agent guard Dennis Schroeder. In an interview with AM 570 in Los Angeles, Johnson doesn't think that Schroeder fits in the team. "I don't think he's a Laker," Johnson said in an interview. "That's just my opinion. I don't know if they're going to sign him back or not. I don't think he brings the winning mentality and the attitude we need." He further added, "He had a chance to show that as the series, and to me, he failed in this series. If he comes back as a Laker, I'm going to support him. I'm going to cheer for him and all that," said Johnson, who played 13 seasons for the Lakers and served as the team's president of basketball operations from February 2017 to April 2019. "I just don't think he's a Laker." The Lakers acquired Schroeder last season from Oklahoma City and averaged 14.3 points per game. At that game, Schroeder expressed his eagerness to work hard, saying, "I'm going to work my ass off to come back here and give everything the fans want. I want to win a championship, and I'll work my ass off this summer to come back and be me." However, Schroeder declined the Lakers' efforts this year to negotiate an extension. Shortly after the Lakers' loss, Schroeder removed any references to the Lakers in his Instagram profile, but minutes later, Schroeder offered mixed messages about his affection for the purple and gold and his hope to see how the market values him. "I want to make my own decision. One time, I can decide where I want to go," Schroeder said. "I want to re-sign with the Lakers, or I want to go somewhere else. That's the only thing. The Lakers, they didn't do nothing. They're great. They have the top 2 players in the league. Everybody in the locker room is great. great, but at the end of the day, I want to be here and win the championship. It's not even a question. It's not about the money. Everyone that knows me knows it's not about the money. Of course, you want to be fair, but at the end of the day, if everything's going good, you're going to come back and win a championship next year. The Lakers' best duo, LeBron James and Anthony Davis, look a lot more than tired, and it's no secret that the latter has suffered from a strained right calf, and James with his high right ankle strain. Despite this, the Lakers think that their loss has more to do with external conditions rather than the state and injuries. The number one thing for us is getting AD healthy, but it doesn't matter what changes we make, James said. We get big fella healthy and get back where he was before the injury. I get my ankle back right, which I'll already know will be 100% before the season in October. That'll put us the best possible chance to be successful next year. 2020 was a great year for James, where the team won thanks to him and Davis's incredible plays since they were in top form, but things started declining after Davis's injury, followed by James. The Lakers dropped to third place with a 28-14 record by the time James suffered his injury. With those absences overlapping, the Lakers then plummeted to a number 7 seed, and then faced the second-seeded Phoenix Suns only after beating the Golden State Warriors in the NBA's play-in tournament. Davis then experienced more injuries in Game 3, hyperextended knee, and Game 4, left groin, which sidelined him in Game 5 and limited him severely for less than 6 minutes in Game 6. We were rolling and we had the pieces, we just couldn't stay healthy, Davis said. A lot of it was me. When you don't have a main guy that is on the floor, then you have another guy and 2 main guys unable to participate, it's tough for an extensive amount of time. Conditions that led to the Lakers' early exit. The injuries suffered by James and Davis were one thing, but there's also another factor that led to the team's failure to win an NBA record 18th NBA championship. For one, the Lakers began the 2020-21 NBA season only 71 days after winning the NBA championship in the league's campus bubble, which is comparatively shorter than the other off-seasons we've seen before. According to the Elias Sports Bureau, that marked the shortest off-season in history among the US's 4 major professional sports leagues in the NBA, NFL, MLB, and NHL. Since we're still going through the pandemic, the team needed to adhere to daily COVID-19 testing, strict health protocols, and playing games without fans. But because of the season's short turnaround, James described this season as mentally, physically, spiritually, and emotionally draining. We knew it was going to be an uphill battle, Lakers coach Frank Vogel said. None of our guys were prepared for the training camp. We tried to grind through it, get our legs under us, and get them conditioned the right way. A change in the roster also contributed to their loss. Instead of keeping their championship roster from the 2019-2020 season, the Lakers added new pieces around James and David. They declined to retain a playoff-tested point guard, Rajon Rondo, who dependable rim protectors named Dwight Howard, and JaVale McGee, a valued wing player Avery Bradley, and outside shooter Danny Green. To this, Davis commented saying, "I thought the team we built this summer was the right pieces to do so. Health just played a big factor. This new roster had the team hoping that Schroeder and Harrell could add offensive depth. But while Schroeder became feast or famine, Harrell remained limited defensively. But alas, chemistry is also needed for the team to work harmoniously. Here's to hoping the Lakers will come back better than ever next season." And with that, we're wrapping up today's episode about what Charles Barkley says about 2 certain NBA teams and the LA starter who failed. Hopefully, you enjoyed watching today's video as much as we did making it. Before you go, don't forget to click the like button and subscribe to our channel with the notification bell on so you won't miss out on any of our new releases. We've got a lot of interesting videos up on our channel for you to choose from. Thanks for watching today's video, and we'll see you in the next one.